I'm a big fan of that water bottle though.
I'll have to do it with my hands. Hey guys.
We want to go over everything that broke on our camper in 2022, things that we've had to fix or we still need to fix. It's not a terrible list, but it's a list.
Yeah. I feel like we've been pretty lucky.
I agree. Nothing too serious.
Even though our camper's 10 years old, we've been pretty fortunate. We've had nothing really major. Luckily.
Almost, but nothing major.
Yeah. We've had at times wanted to just get rid of it, and we might still do that. I don't know. We're kicking around a few ideas of doing something different.
We just want something smaller. This is too big.
Yeah. When we went out west, we discovered that out of all the beautiful public land that you can go and camp on, that it's even there is room for large RVs, but it was too tight, and our awning and one side of our camper sort of suffered a little bit from that.
Yeah.
So it didn't break it, but it pushed it back, and yeah, now it doesn't lock itself into the track.
Yeah.
It still works, so we're just gonna go with that.
We fixed the bathroom sink. We had to end up replacing the whole thing. It was dripping down
Where it connects to the hot and the cold handles. It was running down inside and running onto the faux floor or bottom under our sink. I think we rocked a bowl under there for about 2 weeks before I actually fixed it. Whoops.
And I'll link the video too. We have a video of us replacing it, and it was a fiasco.
Yeah.
Like, I broke the shower head. That happened recently, like 2 weeks ago. I went in there to wash my hair, and I just like a quick hair wash, nothing else. So I was like leaned over, and I had the button popped so it wouldn't come out.
Yeah,
to stop it.
Shut the water off on the shower head rather than turn the valves off.
There was too much pressure, and ended up like it put a bunch of holes inside of the hose going to the shower head. So
she said she just heard a pop, and then there was no water pressure. It blew the hose out. So it was the original one. So
easy fix. In Texas, we had the ice maker line from just the friction, ended up rubbing a hole in it, and there was water spraying everywhere.
So if you don't use your ice maker,
just disconnect it.
I recommend disconnecting it. Luckily, it was an easy fix. I just cut it and capped it right at the supply at the kitchen sink. So definitely keep an eye on that.
We had someone blow a tire in front of us. I think it was on a trailer.
Yeah, it was a chunk of a semi tire. Where was that at?
It was in Arizona.
In Arizona, and I couldn't avoid it.
We ran it over,
and it ripped one of the hangers, the rubber strap hangers from our generator. Yeah.
It's still broken. We haven't fixed it yet. We have a piece of rope tied to
rope.
it. It's held on.
Yep, 1,000 miles now.
We fixed our fenders too.
Yeah.
That was a roadside ordeal.
Fender flare from wear and tear and screws breaking and popping loose. It started to crack in different places and started flopping in the wind. We screwed it back in.
So always keep some extra screws nearby.
Yeah.
You never know when you're going to need it, and have your drill readily accessible because travel days, they're always full of surprises.
Yep.
We also had a bunch of leaks in the underpass. Like there were a pass-through storage where our fill is at, between the tank fill and the city, whatever it is.
Basically all your water supply and stuff is at behind your panel where you go from city to tank to fill to winterize. I don't know if any of you guys have ever messed with PEX fittings or PEX pipe, but once you start to finagle those fittings and move things around and replace things that are leaking, expect to get at least 2 to 3 more leaks out of whatever you messed with.
So, moral of the story, when you're in there, just do them all.
Do them all.
Replace all the fittings.
I'd fix 2 and it would start leaking over here, and then I'd fix that one and it'd start leaking back here, and it was just...
Bought the camper. Well, I'm pretty sure it worked once. We got the bathroom vent fan, and it hasn't worked since. We've pulled the cover off of it. We've looked at it. We tried testing wires. I don't think we were successful in that, but...
It just needs to be replaced.
I've checked the breakers. We've done it all.
Yeah.
We have no idea. So we're eventually going to replace it with the Fancy Max air fans, one that pops up versus it being the flip open top.
Ours are on thermostats. Anyone that I've talked to said that that's really strange, but You slide it over to whatever 50 degrees and that's what kicks them open and turns them on. Well, the one in the bathroom will still open, it just the fan doesn't turn on. And
we've tried everything. The fuse, nothing.
the one in the kitchen's been intermittent ever since we got to warmer weather.
Mm-hmm.
At first it didn't want to work, and then all of a sudden it started working.
Yeah.
So that seems to be a common trend too.
Like our front AC.
Yeah. When we got down here, of course it was hot. We got to run our ACs. And I had already been up on the roof, so I checked them for obstructions, and apparently it's a common thing that it'll pop up inside temp 32 degrees and the condenser won't kick on. Well,
we YouTubed it, we got some directions on what to do, we pulled out the wiring stuff, someone said to use a blow dryer and like blow dry out it's like an empty connector or something like that.
An empty plug that
Didn't
will
work.
get moisture in it, and it'll cause it to malfunction. And we kept turning it on and off, on and off, on and off for a couple days, and finally came in.
It started working. I guess moral of the story is if it doesn't work, just leave it alone. Sometimes it just starts working again.
Sometimes, not always.
I don't know what they're called, but we have these stupid strips running down the side of our camper, both sides all the way down. And they're just like little
problems with that kept popping out.
Yep.
So we eventually just cut one piece because it was the longest strip and it wouldn't stay in there. So I put it inside that stripping down along the side and pushed that back in, and it's holding the stripping in the little channel now.
But
so
doing a good job. I think just over time with the sun and the weather, it just stretches it. Whatever, easy fix. It's just one of those things that makes our camper look really ugly when they're popped out. So
yeah, they're just hanging.
Our underbelly, we ended up having to cut that underbelly open first winter we ever did, and it was
because our pipes
everything
were
was frozen. We were trying to thaw it out. We couldn't get any of our valves open, even with skirting on.
Yeah.
So we had to.
Our foam board skirting that will work in a pinch if you're not there for very long, but
so we ended up having to cut that up, and we've got a couple different strips that are cut open.
Yeah.
We used duct tape for a while. It held.
Yeah.
Then he was like, let's go to some, what was it? I don't know.
I took like 3/4 inch, or maybe it's 1 inch, I don't know, aluminum angle iron, and stretched it across both sides and clamped it to the frame of the RV just to help support it, but it's holding it up.
Yeah,
so
it's
doing its job.
We also
this was why the second time I had to cut into it when we were up in Wisconsin. Text from Cassie while I was at work that said, I don't know what's leaking, but there's water dripping out from underneath the camper.
Not dripping, pouring out.
Oh, it was pouring out. Excuse me.
I was doing dishes and it just started pouring out. And I was like, well, never had that happen before.
Where the drain goes into the top of your black tank, it's cracked.
So we ended up finding some like Bondo or something and tried to put it on there the best that we can. Hasn't leaked since. Then we need to replace all of our tank valves, like all of our gray and our black tank valve.
I think any of you that have been doing this for any amount of time know what we're talking about. They close and they only close so far and they leak by. So what did we do that everyone does? We put the twist on valve at the connection point where you put your sewer on.
Yep.
And we just keep it closed.
We also need to replace the ladder on the back of our camper.
Yeah.
Like 2 of the rungs are broken. It's been kind of shoddy since we bought the camper. The first couple times we went up, I think it's just an old ladder. I mean, it's 10 years old, so.
Yeah. Where were we?
So lights. We have a couple lights out. We have 1, 2 in here, 1 in the living room. We just need to be able to figure out what size they are and buy them. It's an easy fix. We just haven't quite gotten to it.
We never remember to pull a bulb out and take it with us because they're like the little like prong style that slide in. So
it's just not annoying enough yet that we have to fix it. We just kind of live with it. We also lost the filter to our generator. I think
the oil filter.
Yeah.
That was the first
trip.
Second.
First trip to Arkansas.
Yeah, we were on our way to Arkansas. Somewhere we stopped to use the bathroom. I always do a walk every time we stop. I always walk around, make sure all the doors are shut and the hatches are shut. And I noticed oil dripping from the front part of our camper. That's really strange. I opened the hatch where the generator is and popped the cover off the generator, and the oil filter was gone. So always, double check that every now and again.
We also replaced the caps on the vents.
Yep. Your sewer vent pipes, they got those little round caps on them. I think one of them was gone, it had tape on it, and the other one was cracked and broken. So it's very simple. Just take one screw out, pop your new one in, put the screw in, and you're done.
Yeah. Our RV lock is broken.
Yeah.
Like the fancy button one.
I'm
and it's my fault.
Putting that one on her.
Because I just need to call them, and I don't know what's wrong with it, so we can troubleshoot and fix it, but
yeah,
it's not an inconvenience enough for me to call them because I hate calling people. So I've just been putting it off onto my sweet dear husband over here to call.
I don't ever have time.
He hasn't. Even when he has time, he doesn't call, but we just use our key from now on.
Yeah, because it'll still beep with the keypad, but it won't lock or unlock.
I don't know. It makes like a sound and then it goes.
We've put new batteries in it. We've reset it. We've re-put the code
Everything. Nothing.
It just stopped working.
We just gave up. We bought a mat for the hitch because it was twisting.
Yeah, we have the Anderson Ultimate hitch, and it's good and bad. It's nice.
I like it.
It's very lightweight. You can unbolt it, take it out. It only weighs like 50 pounds. We've had pretty good luck with it, but a couple longer trips that we've done, it has the base of it has twisted, which is scary to me.
So precautionary, we bought the mat, it worked, it stopped it from twisting, so we haven't had any issues.
Go to a farm store, Tractor Supply, and ask them. It's horse stall mat. It's like, I think they 3/8 and 1/4 inch. I think I got the 1/4 inch thinner stuff, and cut it, the size of the base of it, and it's hasn't moved since.
We did have to buy new tires for the camper before we even started traveling. It was a necessity.
That was, a preventative maintenance thing.
I'm pretty sure there was like a wire showing. We had to. They needed to be replaced.
I don't know.
We need to replace our couches, both of them, which I have looked high and low on the internet everywhere, and I cannot find a single couch that matches our like sectional one. It's not enough of a problem yet. It's just like the vinyl, the faux leather, whatever it is starting to peel a little bit, which...
Our dogs.
Yeah.
Our dogs are rough on everything.
Inevitable.
Yeah. And that's a lot of... it's a lot of little things that all culminate that we've had to replace on our fifth wheel. We've had a few issues with our truck. Right as soon as we got it, it had an oil leak. We
also had to replace the injector in it, which they did both at the same time.
One injector, and apparently the Ford 6.7 Power Strokes are notorious for a vacuum leak. I guess the bolts come loose, so Ford might want to do something about that.
Every truck has its problems. It doesn't matter what
they all do.
And then he hit a deer.
Oh yeah,
in
I
Iowa.
forgot about that. Back in October,
Yep.
I whacked a buck in Iowa, and well, he hit me. Okay, I was on my way home from work. It was like 3:30 in the morning, and they just come running out of nowhere, and him and another one. I missed the first one, and the second one got me.
We've just decided that it doesn't matter what you have: a house, a camper, a fifth wheel,
brand new
bumper
one,
pole,
an old one, a couple years old.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
You're gonna have issues.
You're always gonna have problems. You're always gonna have to replace stuff, fix stuff.
Yep.
It's part of it.
Yeah, they bounce up and down going down the road.
Lots of movement.
They move. They shift. I mean.
Yep. Hot, cold. It's hard on stuff.
It is.
It's hard on houses.
Especially the cold. So I mean, if you can avoid camping in the winter, I would highly suggest it. Highly suggest it.
Yeah. It's not really fun. But
doesn't matter how much you prepare, it still sucks.
Yep. So, yeah, that was just a little bit of insight on things that we've been dealing with, and so anyway, all right. We'll see you guys later.